Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Well, here we are again. Hey everyone. Bitcoin not yet, still not showing any signs of letting up. So see if we can hit 34. So we're currently at 33.8. How's everyone doing? Actually, hold on a second. I need to. Pretty good. All right, so I thought that Bitcoin might give me the night off. However, I was clearly mistaken. All right, so this is pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. I mean, I certainly, 3 months ago, I certainly did not expect almost a $34,000 Bitcoin by January 2nd, and yet here we are. It shows you just how quickly the times can change. So let's see if we can do some honest work tonight and get it above 34K. And see how high this thing's going to go before it gives us some breathing room. I mean, here we are, 17 bucks away. I mean, it looks like we already went over 34K. I didn't even realize that. 34. I mean, it looks like the current all-time high on Coinbase is 34.1. So, yeah. I guess I don't know why I'm looking at a weekly time frame. Let's go to the trusty 1 minute chart. All right, do we want to draw our trend line like we did last night and see how well it behaves? I don't know how to draw this thing. Looks like a megaphone. Whoops. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see where it takes us. Maybe 35K is on the cards. I don't know. But we are quickly moving up. Let's take a look here. So definitely more overvalued than we were back in 2019, as measured by the 20-week. And also, what's interesting now is we're also more overvalued from the 20-week than literally every single major move in 2017, except for the last one. So the only one that we have not overtaken yet from the last market cycle in terms of how far extended it was from the 20-week moving average is this one. And this one, by the way, was overextended by almost 3x, to give you any indication. So it wasn't quite 3x, it was like 2.87. And we know that the 20-week moving average is, what, around 15.5? So 15.8, so the 20-week moving average around 15.8. If we were to get as overextended from the 20-week as we were at the peak in 2017, then it would correspond to what, 3 times 50, I mean 45, maybe around 45,000 or so. That would be if we were to get as extended as we were back over here. So we'll see if we hit that. Actually, it might be interesting to pull up the BLX and look at the macro trend here. Whew. Well, are we going? I mean, we might break it. Maybe this is where we break it, or maybe this is where we're getting close to where it might hold. We'll see. We'll see where it takes us. This is just the log of the price divided by the 20-week SMA. And again, we know it won't hold forever because it's trending. It's trending towards 0, right? And once it gets below 0, it would imply that we're always below the 20-week, which doesn't make sense. So we know we'll break it at some point. The question is now the time to break it? So I'm just trying to extend it out all the way to the end. So yeah, by 2027 we would go below 0 if it were to hold until then, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but here we are. All right, clearly that trend line is completely worthless. The dominance is moving up too, so we are essentially now, actually we're even slightly higher than we were back in 2019. You can see here we are slightly higher. So the last time the dominance of Bitcoin was this high, 73.32, was all the way back in July of 2017. That was the last time it was this high. I guess my son was right. Yeah, someone says I guess your son was right. Yeah, I should just start taking his advice, I guess. I honestly thought Bitcoin was gonna give me the night off. It's like, all right, give me one night. Let's see if we can move to 35. I mean, we've already broken 34, so I feel like that ship has sailed. It's not like we're going to spend the next 2 hours hoping for it to get to 34 because it already got to 34. So we can now say that Bitcoin has reached 34,100, which is the all-time high now on Coinbase. Someone says, is technical analysis accurate when we were in price discovery mode? I mean, I don't think anyone can tell you exactly where the top is. I can't, right? I certainly can't. But it doesn't mean we can't jump on stream every night and ooh and all at the price. How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, I mean, Ethereum is sort of keeping pace, not really. I mean, the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation is slowly bleeding. So while Ethereum is moving up, it's actually not moving up as quickly. If we just pull up the Ether Bitcoin chart and just show it, right? We'll just show the Ether Bitcoin chart, and we'll go to, I mean, here's the minute time frame, the ever important. I mean, you can see it's bleeding when Bitcoin has these runs. But let's go over to say like a 4-hour time frame, right? So this is a 4-hour. So you can see it's not really keeping up. It's slowly moving up, right? I mean, it is slowly moving up. Bitcoin's back above 34. So it is slowly moving up, but it's not actually keeping pace. So there's a difference, right? I mean, at least it's moving up, which you can't really say about a lot of the rest of the market, right? A lot of the rest of the market isn't doing a whole lot of anything. At least Ethereum is slowly moving up. But I mean, this is probably one of the more bearish 788 Ethereums we could have imagined, right? Yeah, I mean, Ethereum's currently at 788. It looks like its local peak is 789. So yeah, again, don't expect much of anything until Bitcoin stops. Yeah, I get it. I mean, most people, I get that most people probably have a majority of their positions in other coins, right? Not Bitcoin. They have majority of positions in their in Ethereum or some other altcoins because I know they do because we talked about it over the last few years, and I've said it should be majority Bitcoin, um, especially for moves like this. But I mean, I'll give it a few weeks. Maybe Bitcoin will slow down and the rest of the market will live again. Yeah, I'll pull up. Yeah, I don't have all the markets up. I'll pull up Dot as well. That's one we've been watching closely. I do own, I do own some Dot here, so still at $9. I mean, I want to see I want to see Ethereum move. To be honest, I want the rest of my portfolio to pick up the slack. Someone says they saw Doge went up 50%. It went up more than 50%. Didn't it go up like 80% yesterday? Someone says, "Well, I do a watch party when Bitcoin retraces." You can bet your sweet ass I will. Yeah, Ethereum's still pretty far away from the all-time high, right? I mean, it's not even. It needs to go up another like 600, $700. Here we go. A new all-time high, 34,152. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible more institutions will look to Ethereum, but clearly Bitcoin is the king. All right, the new all-time high is 34,205. Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee. There's certainly no guarantee Ethereum is going to hit its all-time high. Um, but I feel like there's a decent probability that it will, right? And by the way, if Bitcoin does slow down, and we do get an altcoin season, which again, there's no guarantee that we do, but if we do, right? If we do, then I'm sure the chat is going to be going crazy because I know the exposure that everyone has to these altcoins, and I do too, right? I have exposure to altcoins as well. If it does, remember that these altcoin seasons can only they usually only last a few weeks. So with Bitcoin, it's basically been running since October. If altcoins take over, some of the big, I mean, like Ethereum could have a sustained move for a while. A lot of coins will not, they probably won't move for like, 4 months straight. Like it'll be more of an impulsive thing, and then it'll be gone. That's at least what I would expect. Um, I don't always get what I expect. Did not expect a $34,000 Bitcoin today, but here we are. I mean, we were at 29 yesterday, right? I mean, $5,000 in one day. That's getting pretty heated. Someone says they can hear my computer fans, take some profits, and get yourself an M1 Mac. That would be, it would cost a lot of Satoshis. I can't quite do that. Someone says, are we not seeing Ethereum go as high because most of the transactions are through decentralized exchanges and not on centralized exchanges? No, I really do think the only reason Ethereum has not moved significantly is just because Bitcoin has not given it the time to. I think that's the only the main reason, right? I mean, of course, there's more fundamental things like maybe institutions just aren't pouring money into Ethereum, but that hasn't stopped Ethereum from moving in the past. I do think that whenever Bitcoin stops, Ethereum will likely take off, assuming that Bitcoin doesn't just have a catastrophic correction. No one can tell you exactly when the correction is going to be. I mean, I feel like we're just going to wake up one day and it's going to be down 20%. Again, we've been saying that for months though, so I don't really know. I really don't know when it's going to happen. Yeah, we have the dominance chart up. It's right here. 73.4. At what point do I consider taking profits on DOT? Um, Not anytime soon. I would just say let it ride. Personally, that's what I'm doing. Let it ride. I mean, if I wake up one day and it's like up 10x or something, then yeah, of course. But I'm not gonna take profits in $9. Sorry, trying to get to the chat. Is it too late to buy DOT? I mean, I'm not buying it anymore, but it's kind of like the same thing with Bitcoin, right? If you don't own it and you're looking to establish a position, is it worth waiting for a pullback? Maybe a pullback doesn't come. You could always justify maybe getting a position and then DCAing or something, as long as you're okay with that. I don't, it's not that I dislike Litecoin. I feel like Litecoin will probably do fairly decently this market cycle. It's just that I would rather put my dollars somewhere else, right? I'd rather put them somewhere else because I think other projects will yield a better ROI for lower volatility, lower negative volatility, I should say. Looks like Ethereum's at 790. I'm curious. I'm curious in the chat. Um, if Ethereum were to go to like, let's say it went to $2,500, are you going to be making a lot of money? If it goes to 25, or yeah, if it goes to 2.5K. What's that, like a, not even a 4x from there, so like 3x, 3.5x. You know, we showed a chart. We showed a chart the other day, and I had it overlaid. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I have it up. Um, Here it is. Are you guys ready for this one? This is the Bitcoin ROI is the white line, and then the yellow line is Ethereum. This is the running 1 year ROI. Okay, so you can kind of see peak, double peak. The thesis is that Ethereum is one market cycle behind Bitcoin. Peak, double peak, and the double peak occurred around a 100x 1 year ROI. The second peak for Bitcoin occurred around a 25x. Note that Ethereum's 1 year ROI peaked above 100x. Bitcoin's was around 100x, or maybe slightly below 100x, the 1 year ROI back in 2013 or so. If you squeeze the chart over Ethereum, you know, after that market cycle, assuming Ethereum's one market cycle behind, down and then up, sideways, and then Bitcoin trended up to a 25x ROI in a year, right? So what does that mean? Well, you know, we know that Ethereum tends to move in Q1, right? We know that Ethereum tends to move in Q1. And because it moves in Q1, if you remember last year in March, Ethereum was at what, 80 bucks? 80 bucks? So if it were to go up 25x in terms of the 1 year ROI from March, that would imply $2,000 Ethereum. If it were 25x from 100, that would imply a $2,500 Ethereum. Am I saying that Ethereum is going to go to $2,500 in 3 months? Of course not. Am I saying it's not going to do that? No, of course not. If anything, Bitcoin has taught us to, yet again, you can never learn the lesson enough to really not underestimate what this market can do. It was only a few weeks ago where, an $18,000 Bitcoin was pretty normal. Now we're almost twice that. Twice that, right? So do not underestimate the market. I'll say that. So with Ethereum, well, it's biding its time. I think it's biding its time. We need Bitcoin to stop. And I think we're gonna be in business. Not financial advice. Maybe Ethereum doesn't do anything like that, but I think we're gonna be in business. Yeah, you can buy a year's worth. If you want to do it with a discount, you can either do it with the crypto link, or on Patreon you can do it with the year discount. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Wow, the like to view ratio is absolutely abysmal. 1/10. Not even 1/10 number of likes to viewers. That's why the price is going down. It's no wonder. All right. Let's see. Let me I'll pull back the dominance. So 73.31, which is our high. Now it's, well, no, it's probably not our, it might not be the high, our local high, but we're around the local high here. Coming down a little bit here. You know, I get it, right? I get it. I get the narrative. I get the institutional money is buying stuff, and you know, liquidity is drying up. It's just, you know, in my experience, take it for what it's worth, right? But in my experience, you know, when you see something, and we have to switch to a linear scale because this is how we look at bubbles. You know, when you see, and we're going to exclude the 2017 peak, we're just going to look here. When you see something that looks like that, and let's go to the daily time frame, it's hard not to think, right? I mean, like, it's hard to say, you know, this is not a bubble, right? Like, and I get that some people think that, and maybe there's a chance that, I don't know, I can't even say that. But it's just that the thing is we just don't know how high it's going to go. That's the main caveat. It's more like we just don't know how high it will go before it will come down. It's always the hard part of predicting these things, is because we simply don't know how high it's going to go. I mean, it could turn around here, but in the same manner, you know, it's not like it would still follow a textbook bubble, even if it went all the way up to, say, 40K and then corrected, or even if it went to, say, you know, 50K and then corrected, right? This is the hard part. It's the hard part. You just don't know. You don't know how high it's going to go. It looks pretty parabolic to me, right? It looks pretty parabolic. The thing is, you know, when you get into these types of phases, right? You're essentially scolded by anyone if you say anything to the contrary of Bitcoin going up. A lot of people will, you know, they turn on you, right? You know, it doesn't matter if you're the biggest Bitcoin bull in existence. If you even give the impression that Bitcoin might retrace, then people will turn on you and say that, okay, yeah, just FUD, you know, whatever. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We have nothing but time, right? Nothing but time here. Yeah, I agree. I don't. This is not sustainable for a year. I mean, maybe it goes like this for a few weeks or a few months, where you know we have some pullback. This type of move is almost certainly not sustainable for a year. And I mean, maybe we get a double peak. You know, maybe we've talked about the idea of a double peak cycle. Maybe we get a double peak where it rapidly goes up in over the next month or two, and then we have like a blow off top, or tomorrow, and then it cools off for a while, and then we go back up. That's certainly a possibility. No, I'm not staying up till 40K. And I'm glad I didn't stay up till 30K last night, because I looked at the chart. It stayed pretty horizontal for like the next several hours after I went to sleep. I always thought it'd be cool too. What if it were a triple peak? Maybe it'll be a triple peak. So far every market cycle has been different, right? Why can't this one? I mean, this one might be different too. I mean, if we everyone keeps saying 40K tonight, if we hit 40K tonight, and that's not a blow off top, I don't know what is, right? If we hit 40K tonight, if we essentially go up by $11,000 in one day, and it's not a blow off top, I mean, I gotta say, I would be pretty impressed. Yeah, I definitely would not short, and I don't talk about leverage trading here. Shorting in a bull market is generally not a good idea. Like specifically betting against Bitcoin is usually not a good idea, especially when you have this type of momentum, right? When you have this type of momentum, it's just that the probability that it continues to do this, I feel like, is probably much higher than the chance that you time the exact turnaround point, right? The chances that you time the exact time it turns around is pretty low. So that's why it'd be really dangerous to short. I mean, let's be pragmatic here, right? There's a lot of people in the chat saying you never sell Bitcoin, right? And of course, there's some truth to the benefits to holding, but this is the same thing. I mean, this is the same. This is the same. Every single bubble we've seen, it's been like this, right? It's never sell, don't sell. It's only going up. I don't think anyone disputes that the fact that it's more likely to go up than down in the short term. It's just how high will it go? It's really weird to think about. Like, I mean, it's really weird to think about that this like Bitcoin, this cryptocurrency, is literally worth like a pretty nice new car, right? 30, I mean, if you had a Bitcoin, you could sell it for like 34K. It's pretty impressive. I mean, you guys have to figure out, what strategy works for you, right? Just know, I mean, there's going to be a lot of money made and lost in this market. As long as you make responsible decisions and continue to implement that, then you should be okay. If you continue to open up like, incredibly leveraged positions every step of the way, that's on you. I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, if this is a bubble, I'm not going to imply that it has to be because I don't want to upset half my audience because I did a poll and it turns out 50% of people say that this is not a bubble. But let's suppose that it were. Let's pretend that it were a bubble. It'd be, looking back on it, the March would be a pretty nice, first sell off, right? That'd be a pretty nice first sell off. let me so there. Let me so here it is, right? So if this again, I'm not going to say it's definitively because I don't want to upset people, but if it's not, if it is a bubble, if it is, if I mean the March sell-off seems like a pretty good, like, you know, first sell-off, bear trap, right? Right there. Do I think governments will put money in Bitcoin? Maybe. Probably not this market cycle. Maybe the next one. Someone says we're in the first sell-off now, where there's no sell-off right now. This is legitimately a parabolic move. This is a parabolic move. This is not a sell-off. Anyways, we're at 33.9. Let's see if Ethereum. No, Ethereum's not doing anything. Link's not doing anything. ADA's not doing anything. It's a Bitcoin party. It's all Bitcoin tonight. Just like it was last night, and the night before that, and the night before that. So we're at 73.36 dominance. Again, the last time we were there was in summer of 2017. I guess we can put up our, let's switch back to a log scale. We'll switch this over to Bitstamp so we get a little bit more history. And then we will add on, I guess we don't need to add it, we probably already have it here. Here's the rainbow. Moving on up. Definitely hit that peak now. At least where we hit in 2019. You can see 2019 peaked around there. That's where we are. See if it has any more juice in it. Oops. Here we are. The lower bound on this up here is around 55K. So we would still have a ways to go to get there. Not saying we can't do it, but we still have a ways to go. 2K per day is insane exuberant. This was like 5K. I mean, we were watching the price 24 hours ago. You guys were keeping me up like all night long, and it was less than 24 hours ago. We were at 29K. Now we're $4,000 above it. I mean, yeah, if Bitcoin goes to 100K this year, then clearly the cycle is not lengthening, right? I mean, if it goes to it, let's just call it what it is. We'll see. If I don't think it'll make it. If it makes it, then so be it. You know, I'll wipe away my tears of having a theory that didn't pan out with all the money I've made by Bitcoin being at 100K. But I'll say this. I mean, don't count your chickens just yet. We still have a ways to go, and we're already. It's not like this is a I mean, it's not like we're currently at a stable 33K, right? This is a 33K in the middle of a parabolic move that's been going since October. I mean, diminishing returns. I mean, for basically for it not to be diminishing, we need to go to 310,000. If we go to 310, then you're right. Like it wouldn't be diminishing. But 310,000 is another 10x from here. Why don't I talk about news? Because you can find news elsewhere, right? There's plenty of good channels that cover the news, so you don't need me to do it. Make sure you guys subscribe if you like the content. Let's get to 80,000 subscribers. I think we're at 79,000. Yeah. Let's get some. Let's hit that subscribe button. I think there's gonna be a phase at some point over the next few months, and it'll be time for Ethereum. I think we're just biding our time for a little while longer. Sorry, I feel like there's actually a lot of decent questions. Just let me pause it so you can see them. Mr. Bullet Point says, "What's your advice to those who haven't invested in Bitcoin? Is now a good time?" I mean, obviously now it's a really risky time. I mean, ever since 15K, I've been saying, like if you don't own it, you could obviously establish a position with the idea that you're in it for a few years. But if you're gonna bet the family farm on Bitcoin going up from 34K, then that could be a problem, right? So be responsible. Yeah, I know there was a pullback in January in 2017, Joa. What do I think will happen to Ethereum if Bitcoin makes a big pullback? Well, I think it'll have a knee-jerk reaction and pullback itself, but then I think Ethereum would move, right? That would be like if Bitcoin actually had like a definitive correction, something to actually give pause to everyone saying that it only goes up, and it didn't immediately recover. That would be what Ethereum needs. So if it were to happen, expect Ethereum to pull back in the short term. That's why I don't have any stop limits or anything set on Ethereum right now, because I feel like whenever Bitcoin stops, I don't want to lose any of my Ethereum before Ethereum makes a move, right? It's at a 784, and Bitcoin's, I mean, it's at 33K, right? I mean, it's at 33K, and Ethereum's at 784. So expect a knee-jerk reaction if Bitcoin corrects from Ethereum, but then I would expect it to move. All right, this guy's been wants me to show December. We've looked at it, right? I mean, it's not we have so many videos talking about December of 2016, because it was January of 2017 when Ethereum made its move, right? So we've analyzed the everlasting what out of December 2016, or December December 2016, January 2017. Yeah, Bitcoin had a parabolic move, right? Here it was. So it went from 565 starting in August up to 1136. So, I mean, from the bottom of the wick, it went from 462 up to 1141, or if you want to go to this one, 1357. It had a pretty impressive move during that time. And it had a pretty major correction right here in January. The correction started on January 3rd. Okay, so he's wanting me to. The correction started on January 3rd. And it corrected 33%, 34%. So let's say a 34% correction from 34K. Let's be fancy. 34% from 34. Where does that put us? It puts us at a cool $22,000. Something else I thought was interesting. Don't take this to the bank or anything. It's probably useless. But if you measure the time between like this peak and the 2019 peak, it's like 555 days, 556 days, something like that. And then if you go from this peak to where we currently are, it's also 556 days. Probably doesn't mean a thing, right? Probably doesn't mean a thing. I just thought it was interesting. And if we do further dubious extrapolation from that top to the bottom, it was an 83% correction over 361 days. This one was a 72% correction over 261 days. I'm not really in the business of thinking we're about to enter an extended bear market. Like, I'm just not, right? I don't think we're going to enter an extended bear market. But would it be prudent to consider all possibilities and not just blindly say that something's going to go up forever? Probably. So 83, 72, let's just say 61, 361, 261, let's say 61% over 161 days. Let's make it simple. 61% over 161 days would be a $13,000 Bitcoin by June. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. I don't think we're going to go that low by June, or maybe never again, but just to put it out there on the table. I am against background music. Thank you for asking. I put it on once before and then I couldn't focus. And then I decided, you know what, this channel is not about entertainment. It's more about making money. Um, but I mean, are you not entertained sometimes? And let's see a 792 ether here. Let's get. I mean, can a consolation prize for Ethereum be an $800 ether? Maybe. That's a good idea. Just put on your own music, right? That way you don't have to listen to my crappy music. Just put on your own music and play that. Oh, 793 ether. Are we making a run at 800? We're gonna spice it up a little. When I look at it, it stops moving. We'll keep an eye on it, but let's pretend like we're not looking at it. All right. All right. Bitcoin's still at 34K. Yeah, the music in my house is probably like Paw Patrol stuff. I'm not gonna deny it. All right, we're not looking at the chart, but I see that Ethereum is now 794.64, 795. Let's 795, 795. Oh, 71. We don't want to spook it. Let it do its thing. 795.82. Remember, as I said before, right? Bitcoin is like a dog. It just goes, barks, wags its tails, keeps running no matter what happens. Ethereum's like a cat. It can go up and it can jump pretty high, and it can jump a lot higher than a dog can. But if you scare it, it'll go back and hide in its corner for 3 days, and you won't see it. So we don't want to spook it. Let's just give it a little bit of space. Bitcoin dominance is 73.29. So still pretty high up. Maybe we'll get a double peak. I don't know. All right, Bitcoin's coming down a little, 33,917. Ethereum is still doing its thing. Still coming out of the corner a little bit. All right, I think I unfortunately have to turn slow mode on because uh, the chat's getting a little overheated here, and I can't read everything. That's a good idea. Christopher just started a rumor that 800 likes will give us an 800 Ether. It's a rumor. I don't know if you guys want to experiment and see if it's true or not. I'll leave that up to you guys. Where would I have buy orders for Ethereum? Dude, I don't know, man. I've been buying Ethereum for years. I mean, it's been pretty undervalued for a long time. But recently it has moved up a bit, so it is riskier than normal right now. We don't know. I don't do t-shirts, right? I don't do t-shirts. Someone said, "Where can I find a t-shirt?" Well, let's not get into that. Let's keep our minds focused on what makes what's the most important, right? And that's the markets. If we get distracted by t-shirts, it's a slippery slope. All right, guys. We're at 796 likes, and Ethereum's at $796. It's just an observation. Dot is at 912 still. Link is at $12. You see, I said 800 likes. I didn't say 867. You guys are jumping the gun. We're not going yet for a $900 ether. We're going for an $800 ether. So if we could maybe pull those likes back a bit to 800. I mean, we're at 797 ether now. Let's pull it back a bit to 800. $798 ether. Where is 798 ether? There we go. We're at 808 likes. Oh, 799. We're close. I would click on the chart again, but I really don't want to spook it. It's easily spooked. Bitcoin dominance has pulled back a little bit, 73.17. So it's dropped by about point 0.1 in the last few minutes. Someone says Link is dumping, and I look at it and it's up 10 cents. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, I said we need 800 likes to get to an 800 ether, and we have 817. This is a group effort. Believe me, I'm not superstitious. It's all a joke. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly where Dot's gonna go, but I think a reasonable strategy at this point in the cycle is my general strategy when it was between $3 to $6 for the last 4 months was just buy it, stake it, forget about it. Buy it, stake it, forget about it, and just rinse and repeat every week for 4 months, and forget about it. Right? Just let it do its thing. All right, we're at a 798 ether. The only thing keeping it from 800 is the fact that we're not at 800 likes. Litecoin's moving a little bit here. It's at 140. Ether is at 798. Oh, 799. We have a 799 Ether. A 799 Ether. Are we going to get an $800 Ether? Should I click on the chart? Or do you think, oh, an $800 Ether. We're going to, oh, I clicked on it and now it's not 800 anymore. 799.99. Oh, come on, there it is. $800. All right, our consolation prize is an $800 Ether for the night. There, we did it. We did it. All right, you can like the video. You can like it now. Well, we made it to 800. Now I hear there's a rumor that to get to a $900 Ether, you have to get to $900 or 900 likes, but I don't know if that's true. Dot's up to 920. Let's see. Litecoin's moving a bit. It's at 141. ADA still is less than 18 cents, so ADA really hasn't done much in the last few days. It's cool to see. It's cool to see Ethereum coming out, stretch its legs a little bit. Let's actually take a look at. Let's look at the shorter time frame. Yeah, this is quite a nice move here. It's kind of done this thing, right, where it doesn't really do much, and then it has like these little breakouts that take it up like $50, $100, and then it just starts going sideways again for a while Bitcoin reclaims the title. Yeah, I mean, of course, Ethereum is more risky than Bitcoin. No one disputes that. But yeah, I think it has theoretically higher returns, and to say otherwise, right, is just not looking at all the historical data. Right? I mean, Ethereum went up 3 orders of magnitude last market cycle, basically. So. I don't think so. Someone says Litecoin will be the biggest return in 2021. I really disagree with that. I don't think Litecoin will be even close to being the highest return in 2021. All right, now if we continue with the analogy that Bitcoin is a dog because it just goes and freaks out and wags its tail and continues running up no matter what happens, and Ethereum is a cat and it gets spooked easily, then someone now needs to tell Bitcoin stay or down boy, and hopefully we can see Ethereum continue. Someone says if Bitcoin's a dog and Ethereum's a cat, what is the link? I don't know. Maybe like a bird. You let it fly, it'll shoot up, it'll go into the sky pretty quickly, but then it gets shot down occasionally and comes crashing back down to Earth. Someone says Link is a honey badger. Have you guys seen that video, the honey badger video? Oh, did you see that minute candle? Those minute candles always spook me because I don't usually look at minute candles except when I'm on like streams. Who sold? I mean, who sold? Who sold? Who did this? They just like had a quick. Someone just like offload a ton of Ethereum right here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I'll switch to a different exchange. We can go back to Coinbase. Let's see, the high on Coinbase was 802. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content. Give the video a thumbs up. Remember, we also have a Telegram channel if you guys want to join it. We have over 11,000 people. So if you guys want to have a conversation with 11,000 of your closest friends, we'll put the link in the chat. You know, this is people always say, like, what are your price predictions? I mean, ultimately, price predictions for altcoins that really have no history are essentially worthless. I mean, even price predictions for larger cap coins are pretty much somewhat, there's a ton of speculation that goes on. And the thing is like, if you say things, if you give a practical, if you give a more conservative answer, people don't want to hear it. But if you give something ridiculous, then you're written off as like a moon boy. There's really no way, good way to give price predictions generally for especially low market cap or lower market cap coins than some of the ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll see what Bitcoin's doing. Is it doing anything? Bitcoin's at 33.8. The dominance is still at 73.17. Link still at 12. Litecoin at 140. Ethereum's dropping a little bit here, 797, 796. Alright, let's see if we can let Ethereum get back above 800. It looks like it got spooked a little bit. I'm not really sure why. With an $800 Ether, isn't that a 10x? Isn't that a 10x from the March bottom? We'll switch it over to the daily time frame. So, if you had bought Ether at the bottom in March, so it was around $89. So you'd be up a modest 786%. So, not a 10x. We would need to get to 890 to get to a 900% move. All right. I just realized I didn't realize we had 2,200 people watching. That's pretty good for a stream where we're just watching Ethereum move up and down a few bucks. The dominance is moving back up a little bit here, 73.2. Let's actually go back and look at when Ethereum moved. I always like this W, especially on the monthly time frame, right? We like to draw lines sometimes. Like that. That'd be $1,100 ether by the end of Q1, maybe. Let's go back though. So I mean, this is 2017. You can see that Ethereum had periods where it was not really doing a whole lot. This is September and October and November. Ethereum didn't really do anything. It was sitting at $300, and then it shot up to 477, and then hung out there for about 3 weeks or so. Shot up again to 700, hung out there from mid-December through early January, and then this move, so this was December 31st, January 1st, January 2nd, and then it peaked on January 13th. I mean, clearly we're not doing the exact same thing because Bitcoin peaked on December 17th in 2017, and here we are January in January, and it still hasn't come down. It's kind of interesting, if you look at the Ethereum chart. I mean, if you just look at it since March, look at that trend, right? It's a pretty nice trend. Mostly up, right? Just mostly up. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe. Should we call it? I don't really know what else to say. Bitcoin's it's just sitting here now. Make sure you subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Remember to check out the Telegram channel. You can find a link to that in the description below. We'll probably keep doing this as long as crypto stays hot. Someone says it's about to hit 35K in 5 minutes. I don't know about that. Alright, I think we'll call it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. We also have the premium list. The sell ends tomorrow, so if you guys want access to that, sign up for the end of tomorrow. You get access to the weekly reports, the weekly videos, the risk dashboard, the trading view indicators, the alerts channel on Telegram, and the Telegram chat room. We have more stuff. We had a live stream earlier for the premium list as well. So if you guys want access to that, check that out. Subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Hopefully Ethereum will pick up soon, and we'll be looking at a $900 Ether watch party here in the next few days. So that'll wrap it up. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.